Good Monday, everyone. Welcome to Garden State Weather here on YouTube and also at Garden State WX on Twitter. I'm meteorologist Robert Smith on this very cold Monday, the second week here now in January 2022. We've got some winter weather warnings here for lake effect snows here off the lakes this morning. Lake Ontario, Lake Ontario, and Lake Erie here. Snow plumes coming down into western New York, and there's wind chill advisories in effect here for tonight into tomorrow morning. Same here in the upper Midwest. Yes, snow plumes coming in here into North Dakota. Temperatures this morning 18-20 degrees below zero, 70 to 75 degrees here, 79 almost here in Key West with a few rain showers around from an old frontal boundary. There's some that cold front that moved through yesterday with all that cold air coming down from off the mountains of the Appalachians. Here we have a few snow showers here off of the Virginia coast and off the Carolina coast as well. We have some rain or snow showers here in southwestern Florida, Texas rather, and small craft advisories up and down the east coast here as well as the west coast. Intermountain snows in the Cascades and into Washington and Oregon. Some dense fog here in California this morning. Latest surface chart shows that cold front and second cold front now off the mid-Atlantic coast, well out into the Atlantic. High pressure slowly building in, but we have a couple of short waves here in this kink of the weather isobars here across the Great Lakes. So we know that a few snow showers or disturbances will move through the area probably late this morning into this evening and overnight tonight. Could see a few flakes here in Jersey as well. We'll get to that in a moment. Meanwhile, this is a nearly stationary frontal boundary out here through the Midwest and the South here, separating the very true cold Arctic air that's in place right now, like 24 degrees below zero in parts of Canada here, to the very warm air. Well, I wouldn't call it very warm. It's still early here in the morning, but it's marginally much warmer than it is here. And, of course, our new storm system coming into the West Coast, showing up on the charts this morning. Back to the Rutgers Weather Network this morning. We're going to go. Here's the latest temperatures as of this broadcast. 24 in Charlottesburg, 22 in Wantage, 21 at High Point, 17 at the Monument at the top, Vernon at 18. And if you call this warm, well, Cape May is the warmest here at 33. Also the Atlantic City Marina, and 32, freezing at Woodbine and Little Egg Harbor Township. I want to take a look at what it actually feels like there with the wind this morning. This is the wind chill temperature. It feels like it's in the teens and single digits here as this page is refreshing into the low 20s. It's very chilly here anywhere you go. Cold, in fact, this morning with high pressure building in. The atmospheric pressures are rising on a northwest wind, as we can see here. Let's take a look at the wind speeds. They're all out of the northwest right now, and they're ranging from about 5 to 20 miles an hour, a little gusty, and the wind gusts make that air temperature feel even much colder than the actual ambient temperature is. We're finding wind gusts this morning in the 20s, upper 20s, and even lower 30s here around the I-95 corridor. Satellite view this morning tells the tale. You can see the striations of all the high clouds coming in with this is all snow up in here, coming down from off the lakes here, Lake Erie, Lake Ontario up here, snow plumes here coming in from off the lakes into western New York, and even some here with all of this cold air being brought in here on a northwest flow. We can see some of the showers, snow showers coming in now off of Lake Erie, showing up here on Doppler out of Binghamton and also just around Binghamton and south here. Probably not going to see anything in New Jersey yet. That might have to wait for one or two of those disturbances to get in here, but we're not seeing anything just yet. Large-scale view of the visible satellite this morning, still not available too early yet on the west coast, but on the east coast, here comes the northwest flow and the snow showers, with a couple of short waves still embedded in this. High pressure is building all the way back through the upper Midwest, and that's going to take a little while to get here. We're going to have to go through a couple of these disturbances with unstable air in the atmosphere, but dry too, so just expect a few snow showers. And this is, of course, the frontal boundary here draped over into Florida, off the East Coast all the way down to the Gulf Coast region. There's a new high pressure ridge here, and a new storm system coming in from off the west coast. And for storm reports, we'll just go into New York here and see what we got. We do have some snow being reported this morning in Oneida County from train spotters and retired National Weather Service employees here, about 1 to 3 inches. Also in Schenectady, and these are all from this morning, actually. These are all from this morning, except for this down in here. Freezing rain, that was yesterday. All of this is snow across New York this morning. This looks worse than it is. Actually, it probably is worse than what is perceived here, too. This is the latest COVID map from coronavirus map from FluStar. And it's probably because more and more people are getting tested or at home testing or whatever. But this looks worse than anything over the last 23 months. And COVID is, excuse me, definitely widespread. Cold and flu, definitely strong here, as across most of the country as well. Strep throat is located here in these areas. A lot of people still having problems. Fever is high, and the flu. If you just broke this down in this area here, I know, I've been home for over 10 days now. And with this, that doesn't look good to me, or anyone. Speaking with my friends in West Palm yesterday, here it is, 72 right now, this morning as of 10 a.m. East Coast time. And then if you go back here to the New Jersey, New York City metropolitan area, it's here. Temperatures are in the low to the mid-20s, around 30 or so around the city and close to the coast here. And the wind chill temperature this morning, it's cold. In New York City feels like 16, Brentwood 18, Yonkers 17 as of 10 o'clock this morning. And a big temperature change over the last 24 hours here. We're down some 5, 10, 11 degrees below where we were at this time yesterday. Here's a look at our Stratosphere polar vortex here at 10 millibars from null Earth this morning, and down to 70 millibars. We can pull this up. Yeah, I think we can. All right. Okay, we had a little glitch here for a minute, but it's working again. So let's get back to the chart that we were looking at. This is the stratosphere at 10 millibars this morning. And so there is a lot of stretching going on, but it's still very consolidated. And, well, it's going to take quite a while to break this down. European model guidance's forecast here at 50 millibars here through the period, through the next 10 days. It's stretching it on both sides of the pole here. So, you know, winter weather is going to come in pulses, probably in Arctic and polar branches here. But the likelihood of any significant snowfall occurring, that's still in question. And we just found out that Amazon is now doing their own COVID-19 test collection kit, DDC, sample processed in lab, results in 24 hours. This is Amazon's own test that they've come out with. You can get it now. It's $39.99 on Prime, and you can get it within probably within the next couple of days or whatever. But you got to act fast if you want that. And I'm going to give you the link right now. Let's get back to this, and this will be the link. Well, first of all, if you want the information, go to nj.com. And on the left-hand side, we can do this on the left-hand side. Here it is, at-home COVID test from Amazon. PCR kit is back in stock. So this is where you go. Click on this link, and you get to get that test as soon as possible. Sunday's Climate Prediction Center 6 to 10 day national probability outlook and temperature here above normal in the west and the desert southwest, below normal here, well into the northeast, the northern mid-Atlantic, down through the southern mid-Atlantic. 8 to 14 days, very cold across the eastern United States and warm in the west. Precipitation the highest in the next 6 to 10 days, and this is from Saturday the 15th through the 19th. Will be across the northern tier, down through the Gulf, all along the Gulf, and up to the east coast. And the 8 to 14 day precipitation from the 17th through the 23rd, dry in California, and wet in the northern plains, the northern tier here, and wet from the Gulf Coast all the way up through the southern mid-Atlantic. And taking a look at last night's European model run, 500 millibar height anomalies here. Very cold and impressive air here in the Canadians here and the Hudson Bay area, all the way down into the northeast, with a warming trend across the Midwest into the West Coast. And this pattern looks like it's going to support short waves rotating through and underneath, but they seem to be a disconnect. We'll get into the vorticity in just a moment. And as we go through the period here, these become ocean storms. High latitude blocking is building in across Greenland, east-based, of course, negative NAO. But there's too many short waves here, and the flow just becomes too rigid. It's the next chance here on that we talked about over the weekend, Saturday into Sunday. This is what it looks like in the 500 millibar height anomaly. So we know that something could pop here, but we're not sure if it's going to be off coast by the time it matures. And that's what it looks like to me. Here's the next one diving in and circumnavigating around. Notice this big blocking now developing over Greenland here. So this is blocking a lot of these short waves here, and there's just too many of them. And when you have too many, they force each other to cancel out, so to speak. And that's what it's kind of looking like. But see, this should be a better depiction here. 500 millibar cyclonic PVA, our upward motion in the atmosphere. Here comes the cold air and the flurries and short waves through northern New England. Then the cold relaxes a little bit. Here comes the next short wave here on Wednesday and Thursday. Again, the PVA is kind of strung out. It's all to the south. So by the time something develops here, it's off the coast and away from our area, because it's being kicked out by this one, this one, this one, and this one. Here comes the next one for Saturday night and Sunday. And again, these are positively tilted because there's just too many short waves in this flow pattern moving through. I notice the high latitude blocking showing up near Greenland is definitely providing the negative fashion for the cold air to be in place, but with all of this PVA strung out, positively tilted and being kicked out by each other here as they circumnavigate around under this block. That's the reason why we can't get a snowstorm here, unless one of these matures just at the right time. But right now, that looks to get kicked out because of this one. So there's opportunities here for precipitation in a winter pattern here, and definitely cold air for at least the next 10 days. But this kind of looks pretty strung out to me at this time, and then the pattern relaxes in about 10 days, again with a zonal flow from west to east across the country. Each one of these systems kits kicking out the other one, but it's also helping to set up the NAO block over Greenland. But by the time these happen, the storms mature, they're out over the ocean. Take this one, for example, on Thursday night and Friday. Again, it's out over the ocean and away from the coast. Here comes the next one diving in right behind it. So it's going to snow through the upper Midwest and the plains. And by the time that reaches the East Coast, we're having a problem here. Okay, here we go. By the time this reaches the East Coast, again, it's too far south. Maybe the coastal areas by the time it matures. In the Delaware Valley area here, right along the immediate coast south of Long Island, and maybe just skirting the Jersey Shore as we get into Sunday night and Monday. Right now, that one looks like that. And here comes the next one, and of course, boom. You get some snow showers, but the storm develops too far out over the ocean. And more snow showers and plumes coming in from off the lakes again, and then the pattern just goes zonal. And we start getting breaks in the action here, but new storms forming under this PNA signature here out over the Pacific. New Jersey, New York wind chill forecast from the NAM model guidance coming in this morning. This is, it's a very cold air here overnight tonight. And as we get into the rest of today, it's cold, teens basically. And then as we get into tonight and tomorrow morning, it's going to feel like it's 0, 10 degrees below 0, especially if you're out in the Poconos. Ooh, that's cold. Mount Pocono at around -18 tomorrow morning. That's cold. Yeah. This is over the next 60 hours here. It's going to be cold. Any kind of snowfall from downwind the lakes here over Pennsylvania, maybe the Poconos here a little bit, but not much else. Maybe flakes in the air, but nothing reaching or accumulating on the ground here in New Jersey. Well, there's going to be flakes in the air as those streamers come across late tonight, early tomorrow morning, especially in the Poconos, so don't be surprised if you see a coating on your car or grass. Well, you wouldn't see that now because there's still snow cover on the ground, or basically on the sidewalk too. A dusting is possible. And then outside of that, I don't see anything that supports anything here for the rest of the week. So do bundle up out there. It's going to be frigid to be outside in these dangerous times that we're in with COVID, and also the mask wearing and, the cold and flu season that we're under right now. We're under siege, not only here in the United States, but around the world as well. You can subscribe again if you're following our videos here. You can subscribe at the end of the video by hitting the subscribe button, and you'll be notified. If you choose notifications turned on, you'll be notified when a new one comes on. We try to do these once a day, sometimes twice if we can. And also at Twitter at Garden State WX is our Twitter page when we're on it. I'm meteorologist Robert Smith. You stay warm outside, stay warm inside, and stay safe.